some have been mistaken for giants. That still doesn't dispel their supposed existence. In 1928, a Peruvian archaeologist, Julio Tello, discovered an enormous, intricately, let's say that 10 times. Okay. See you then. Okay. An intricately designed graveyard containing some of the largest skulls ever found. Some of the skulls were believed to be over 3,000 years old. A recent DNA test found that the DNA contained in these skulls had mutations unknown to human, primate, or animal. Many are still unsure. Scientists have yet to prove otherwise. Okay, this skull was over 3,000 years old. This was in 1928. And recent DNA testing found that there were mutations unknown to humans, primates, or animals. So there you go. And the myth of the Nephilim has been kept alive for centuries by new discoveries every few decades or so. Some may have been debunked. There are still those that leave the question of Nephilim existence open. Around the early 2000s, an odd discovery was made in Greece. The skeleton of a 15-foot humanoid was believed to have been discovered near the northern border. It's hard to say whether the mention of giants is intended to be taken literally or a metaphor, but I believe it's literal, not a metaphor or, made up or whatever. There are many who believe that giants did at one time walk among us. Some will look at examples in everyday life, such as larger-than-life people like Robert Pershing Wadlow, the Guinness record holder for the world's tallest man at 10'9". We're still waiting for definitive proof, though, okay? Oh, thank you. I try and get as much information as I can. Okay, how about the Giants of West Virginia, guys? I know you're waiting for this, Ike. You want to go there. I think we all do. The Giants of West Virginia. Ancient Giants of America. Nephilim skeletons found. History hidden. Okay. Giant red-haired people in America. The red-haired giants of America, etc. I try to do as much research. There's so much out there and all this stuff. Unbelievable. You can catch some of these on YouTube. Pictures of these, the skeletons and stuff. There's a cave in Indiana, hints at an age-old race. But there's so much out there. It's crazy. Okay, let's start with Smithsonian scientists identified at least 17 skeletons that stood over 7 feet tall in their reports, including one example that was 8 feet tall in a skull with a 36-inch circumference from Anna, Illinois. The Smithsonian Institute mentioned a dozen more times as a recipient of enormous skeletons from across the entire United States. The skeletons mentioned no longer seem to exist, regardless of their actual size. And the remaining ones that were on display removed and repatriated by the Native American Graves Protection Act. it does prevent a more an ethical conundrum in terms of trying to ascertain the proof because they took them back. There's a unique top 10 of examples of giant skeletons that were reported from across ancient North America. Serpent Mound, Ohio, 1890s, 7-foot tall skeleton. Okay. The Great Serpent Mound is a long prehistoric effigy mound located near Peebles that has been thoroughly researched by Ross Hamilton, who has written extensively about its mysteries and the giants discovered in the area. Radiocarbon analysis states it around to be 321 BC. This puts it in the realm of the civilization who were present in the area at the time. In the 1890s, Professor Ward Putnam excavated some of the mounds and found only 6-foot tall skeletons. But one showing a 7 feet in height was recently rediscovered. So there's a lot going on. It says there's actually a difference between titans and giants. Yes, there is. Yeah, there is. Okay. So Ross first published that in his book, A Tradition of Giants. Lost my place here. Let's see. That 7-foot in height skeleton was rediscovered by Jeffrey Wilson. It may have been one of those excavated by Putnam, as he was the only person to dig at the site. Ross first published this in his book, A Tradition of Giants. It clearly states it was from Serpent Mound, but there's still debate as to where this photo of a 7-foot skeleton was actually taken. Number 9, West Virginia, 1959, Cresap Mound. Oh, very cool. Yes. Great idea, Ike. Let me know when you can. Let me know when you can, Ike. We'll do one on giants. Absolutely. In 1959, Dr. Donald Dragoo, curator for the Carnegie Museum, unearthed a 7-foot 2-inch tall skeleton during the complete excavation of the Cresap Mound in North and West Virginia. When measured in the tomb, his length was approximately 7 foot 4 inches tall. And there are pictures and stuff if you want to look it up. Dragoo also published a photo of the actual skeleton in his book. It is no doubt it is authentic. He joins many other university-trained anthropologists and archaeologists who reported discovering skeletons over 7 foot in length in burial mounds with anatomical anomalies. A few of the professionals reporting these skeletal finds were Dr. Walter Jones, Moundsville, Alabama, 7'6", Dr. Forrest Clements, head of anthropology at the University of Oklahoma, 6 7-foot skeletons. Dr. Cadzow, Cambridge University, 7-foot 5-inch skeleton found in Pittsburgh, with many other large skeletons with anatomic anomalies. Dr. Brian Cummings, head of the Archaeological Department, University of Arizona. Several 8-footers and over. Thomas Wilson, curator of prehistoric anthropology at the Smithsonian, verified an 8-foot skeleton with a massive jawbone. W.J. Holland, curator of the Carnegie Museum, unearthed an over 8-foot skeleton in Pennsylvania. And these have been published in scientific journals, including Scientific American. So you can look these up. Okay? These are not just people out digging. These are actual professionals in their fields, in anthropology, and at very well-renowned places, the Smithsonian and everything. Wow. So you can't discount these. You really can't. They're all, well-known and in their fields. Okay, so there you go. There's proof there for me. Okay, mounds in Iowa, 7'6" skeleton. 1897 describes the work of the Smithsonian Institution's Division of Eastern Mounds. And this is a quote by the director of the Bureau of Ethnology at the time, John Wesley Powell. The image accompanying this news report. It is a matter of official record that in digging through a mound in Iowa, the scientists found the skeleton of a giant who, judging from actual measurement, must have stood 7 feet 6 inches tall when alive. But the bones started crumbling to dust when exposed to the air, so they have to be really careful. Steelville, Missouri, 1933, 8-foot skeleton. As part of the search for the lost giant show, Jim and fellow researchers James Clary investigated the following account that had this heading. An ancient Greek Ozark giant dug up near Steelville, a strange discovery made by a boy looking for arrowheads gives this Missouri town an absorbing mystery to ponder. And this is from the Steelville Ledger, June 1933, and I quote, "He turned up the complete skeleton of an 8-foot giant. The grisly find was brought to Dr. R.C. Parker and stretched out to its enormous length in a hallway of his office, where it has remained the most startling exhibit Steelville has ever held on public view." While reading through the microfilm at the Steelville Library, 3 reports of the find were uncovered, including a photo showing that Les Eaton, a 6-foot-tall man, laid out to the 8-foot skeleton in the doctor's office. The Steelville Ledger reported that it was sent off to the Smithsonian, never to be heard of again. What a surprise. Miamisburg. I lived in Miamisburg, Montgomery County, Ohio. It's down by Dayton. Miamisburg Mound is believed to have been built by the Adena culture anywhere between 1000 and 200 BC. It is the largest conical burial mound in Ohio. It was once nearly 70 feet tall and 877 feet around. Hugh investigated the site in September 2012, and after talking to some researchers at the local historical society, there were other skeletal remains reported in the nearby area. Numerous skeleton remains were uncovered from the mound, including a giant jawbone and bones of unusual size. But it was discovery half a mile away that became the national sensation. Bones of prehistoric giant found near Miamisburg, and I quote, "The skeleton of a giant found near Miamisburg is the cause of much discussion, not only among the curious, but among the learned scientists of the world. The body of a man more gigantic than ever recorded in human history has been found in the Miami Valley in Ohio. The skeleton is calculated to have belonged to a man 8 feet 1.5 inches in height." Professor Wilson, curator of anthropology at the Smithsonian, said the following after examining the find. "The authenticity of the skull is beyond any doubt. Its antiquity unquestionably great. Several such crania were discovered in the Hopewell group mounds in Ohio. They were real." So there you go. Miamisburg. Who'd have thought? San Diego giant, 1895, 8-foot 4-inch mummy. They're not sure on that one. Could be a hoax, could not be. They're not sure. Catalina Island, California, 9-foot 2-inch skeleton, and a 7-foot and 8-foot ones. The Channel Islands off the coast of California have turned up numerous oversized skeletons. The story is intriguing and controversial. And of course, it